Hey guys, today I'm in a Google Doc. You'll notice that the title for this Google Doc says Tabs Walkthrough. We're going to talk about the tab key and what the tab key does, and we're also going to talk about how we can manipulate that into our Google Doc to be able to type nice columns of information. So typically, when we hit the tab key one time, you'll see that your cursor jumps half of an inch every time you click it. So you'll see my cursor kind of sporadically jumping across the screen. It's jumping across the screen at half-inch increments every time that I hit the tab key. I backspaced it to go back to the beginning of the line because we're going to change our tab stop positions from half of an inch to something new. So that way we can manipulate our screen to have nice, neat columns of data. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have my ruler at the top of my screen. So I know mine has it. It says view, and I've got a check mark beside show ruler. And that's one of the things that you will definitely have to have in your Google Doc for the next unit. You always have to have the ruler up because that's where we can change our tab stop positions. So the first thing we're going to do is take our mouse to our ruler, and for this first one, I'm going to take my mouse up to the 2 on the ruler, the 2-inch spot, and I'm going to click with my mouse one time. And this pops up a thing that says, do you want to add a left tab stop, add a center tab stop, add a right tab stop? And I'm just going to say the first option, add a left tab stop at 2. And then I'm going to jump over to maybe 4.5. And I'm going to click at 4.5. And the same thing pops up where we can add a left tab stop, a center tab stop, or a right tab stop. And once again, I'm just going to choose left tab stop. Now, because we have 2 tab stops, you can notice that there's kind of like 2 little bluish arrows. The first one's at 2, the second one's at 4.5. That when we click tab now, instead of jumping half of an inch, the first time we click tab, it jumps 2 inches. I'm going to type out a superhero. And if I hit tab again, instead of it just jumping like half of an inch to the 3 or to 3.5, it's going to jump over to the 4.5. And I'm going to type out, let's see here, alter ego. Because maybe I'm going to make a list of different superheroes and their alter egos. So I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to hit tab, and I'm going to come up with a superhero. So let's use Iron Man, and his alter ego or his identity is Tony Stark when he's not Iron Man. I'll hit enter. I'll hit tab. It still jumps over 2 inches. This time I'll type Captain America. I'll hit tab, and his name is Steve Rogers. Hit enter, hit tab. Hawkeye. Tab, Clint Martin. Hit enter, hit tab. About Widow. Her name's Natasha Romanov. I did not spell that right. There we go. And we'll hit enter, and we'll type out Ant-Man, and we'll type out Scott Lang. All right, so we now have 2 columns of data. We've got a column that says superhero and has different superhero names. We've got a column that says alter ego, and it has the people's names that play those superheroes. Now, if we wanted, we could select like alter ego and make it bold. Could select superhero and make it bold. That would kind of make that stand out a little bit. That's perfectly fine if we wanted to do that. Next, I'm going to hit enter 2 times kind of like pretending like this was two different drills and we were getting ready to start a new one. Now, when we change the tab stop positions for one drill, that doesn't mean that we're always going to use the same tab stop positions. So I'm going to go up to the ruler, and this time I'm going to click on my little blue triangle that's on the 2, and I'm just going to kind of drag it down towards the page and then let go of my mouse. When I do that, it kind of drags that tab stop off. I'm going to do the same thing at the 4.5 inch mark. Click on that little blue triangle, drag it down and let go. And that means from this point forward in the document, we're back to the 1/2 inch tabs. So every time I hit the tab key, you see my cursor jump 1/2 inch. But let's say that this was like drill 2 on a document that we were working on, and I wanted to have some new tab stop positions. So maybe this time I want that information to be a little bit closer together. Actually, no, let's do it a little bit farther apart. Let's do like 1.5. Let's do a left tab stop, and let's do a 5 inch left tab stop. So this time I'm going to hit tab. I want to show you one thing with the underline key. So let's say we want to underline some information. So we can say state. Now, because I have underline on, when I hit tab, it's going to underline everything once I type. Oh, it didn't. Okay, maybe that's just Microsoft Word. So don't worry about that. They've kind of fixed that issue in Google Docs. If we were doing tab stop position changes in Microsoft Word, there would be an underline in between those two words, state and capital. So they've kind of fixed that issue for us. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit tab to jump underneath state, and I left underline on, so I'm going to turn it off. Type out Colorado. Hit tab. The capital of Colorado is Denver. Hit enter. Hit tab. Let's come up with a state. Let's do Georgia. Capital of Georgia is Atlanta. Hit enter. Hit tab. Let's do our own state, Kentucky. No, it's not Lexington or Louisville. It's Frankfort. Hit enter. Hit tab. Ohio. Tab. Columbus. Hit enter. Tab. About West Virginia. We're pretty close. Hit tab. About Charleston. All right, so this is just a way that we can use tabs to kind of separate information. It keeps it to where right now everything's in columns. Sometimes having your data in columns just makes it easier for a person to read. So that's why we're kind of learning about tab stop positions right now, is just learning how to put things in to nice, neat columns. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to post a video that's a walkthrough for tabs handout 1, and then I'll also be posting the actual document. So you'll have 2 things to do tomorrow. One, you'll have to watch a video where you see me practice this tabs handout, or where you see me practice the tab stop positions. And then after watching the video, you'll just replicate the same thing that I did in the video on your own handout. And then you'll just click submit to turn it in. So I think this will be an easy unit for you. We're still going to be utilizing some of the buttons that were from the formatting unit. So you will still need to look for like words that are in bold or underline. Sometimes you'll have to change your fonts. You may even see me add some titles to like the different drills. So I may make you use the center button on some of your drills. So just make sure that you pay attention to the video tomorrow. Also pay attention to the directions, because everything that I cover in the video is going to be based on the directions. And I'll probably also include a scoring guide on tabs handout 1, so that way you understand how I'm going to be grading those. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching today. I hope that you're ready for this new unit. Thanks.